home this week in the first two home conference games of the season. The Roadrunners will take on Tulsa on Tuesday at 7 p.m. in the Convocation Center, where UTSA is 4-1 this season. Reminder that if you have a question, to use the hand raise button and we'll get you in. Coach Claunch, can you get us started with your view on last week's action and a look ahead at the games on this week's schedule?
Yeah, obviously a disappointing effort from us in New Orleans. Quite frankly, I didn't really see that coming. I thought we had some good days of prep. Thought we had good focus. Thought we had good activity, good energy. If you look in the last couple of weeks, Tulane's been playing some really good ball, and they're confident right now. And we got hit in the mouth and just did not respond well at all. And quite frankly, obviously that comes back on me and ultimately some of the things that we're doing. We got to look at everything and figure out whether it's lineups or schemes, different points in the game. We're starting to get a clearer vision for who needs to be in with who and those types of things. But certainly disappointed in that outcome. And now we've got two big home games. That's what's great about basketball. Usually you're 48 hours or 72 hours and you get to jump back out here and it's college athletics. I mean, it's day by day. You can what's hard is one win feels like one win and one loss feels like five losses, and so at the end of the day we're 0-1, but we've got an opportunity here with two at home, to rebound and hopefully win two and head back out on the road. So, big week for us coming up. We need to have good practice this afternoon.
Sean, you tagged in first. Go ahead and get us started.
Coach, with 3 of your next 4 at home, how excited are you and your guys to be opening AAC play and be at home here in front of the fans?
Yeah, 100%. We've had great energy just with our home games and with this crowd at the Convo. As we move forward into later January, February, it's going to be great to get the students back on campus as well. But just in general, to be in San Antonio and the comfort of our own facilities, homes, sleeping in your own bed the night before the game certainly makes a huge difference. So, I'm excited. Our first conference game at home. Obviously what we've been talking about for months now. But we've got to come out. We got to play better. We got to play better than we did the other night in New Orleans. Or it doesn't matter if we're playing here on the road, outside, different planet. We got to prepare today to step out and beat a good Tulsa team.
Jerry, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Coach. I wanted to ask about Tulsa's coach. He coached quite a while in Louisiana, and I was wondering, do you know Eric personally, and just kind of what do you know about his track record as a coach?
I wouldn't say I know him super personally. We've spoken a few times, had some good conversations with him at our coaches meeting out in Dallas. Great guy. I mean, I followed his career, like you mentioned. He was in Louisiana before that. He also was at George Mason, so I've kind of followed him around a little bit. I went, did hear George Mason, and then I went down to Louisiana. So certainly know his track record. He's a great coach. He's got a team over there that, don't let their record fool you. They lost a close one to start conference play, and then, they had a tough one like we did on Saturday. They'll be ready to go when they come in here Tuesday. They really guard. They really compete defensively when you look at the metrics. They're not quite as big as some of our teams in our league, sort of like us, but they really fly around and compete. And so that's, they certainly picked that up from him, and that's been part of his pedigree.
Taylor, go ahead.
Coach, what did you stress after the Tulane game in order to be better prepared going into Tulsa tomorrow?
Well, I mean, Taylor, sometimes when a game like that happens and you have a quick turnaround, it's hard to, it's hard not to really just get to the next game because there were so many things that we needed to be better at. Tulane certainly plays a unique style of defense that if you're familiar with the league, sort of that matchup zone is. It's tricky, and until you see it live, it's kind of hard to know exactly where the spots are, and we got to have a better plan, for attacking. Now, the flip side of that, your question, Tulsa doesn't necessarily play that style defensively. They present challenges in different ways, and so to really dive into that film and watch it on the offensive side of the ball might not do you a ton of good. Now, defensively, there's a lot of things we got to continue to clean up and get better. So we focus more on that side of the ball. And I feel offensively, being home, playing a different, style of defense, I feel confident that we'll come out and shoot the ball much better.
Sean.
Coach Raekwon played well on Saturday, and he's been a great presence for you this season. What has he brought to your team?
Yeah, I had no idea he played 40 minutes till after the game. You know, you want to play guys as a head coach that are going to compete and fly around and play as hard as they can every possession, and that's what he does. He's got to clean up some things offensively. You know, had a couple of tough turnovers that maybe led to transition points, which we all did. But again, he just brings that toughness. He brings that winning pedigree. Tulsa's got one of them too, Justin, that was at James Madison last year, and those are guys that, when guys that have played in the NCAA tournament, I think certainly have just an understanding of the sacrifice that it takes to win games at a high level, and I think Raekwon has that, as well as the skill and the toughness that he brings every day.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, Coach. Personnel-wise, for Tulsa, what are the challenges that you think they present to you? Just matchups, personnel matchups.
Yeah, I mean, they've got, kind of a three-headed monster at the guard position, and they all do different things. Odom can really drive it. Keaston Willis is a guy that I coached against in the Southland. I mean, he's an elite scorer. He's been doing it, for a long time. Archie's a guy that, is dynamic with the ball in transition and is aggressive in the half court. And then they got a lot of really good dirty workers in the front court, and they're versatile. They have a lot of pieces they can work to fit together. They come off the bench with shooting. And again, I mean, it's just one of those games that, I think you're going to figure out kind of early on in the second half who they're rolling with, and we're got to figure out who we're rolling with, and then obviously guard them accordingly as you go.
Jerry.
Yeah, I guess this Isaiah Barnes kid I think he hasn't played since December 7th. I think he might be out with a hand fracture or something like that. But I guess that's kind of an X factor going on with Tulsa right now, is it not? He was, from what I remember, he's a pretty good player for them last year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and certainly, listen, I think every team at this point in the season, you're dealing with something, an injury, guys out, guys are banged up in practice and things like that. So, you try not to necessarily worry about what the other team. I mean, of course, you do your scouting and your preparation. You got to know personnel, but you try not to worry about, will this guy play, will he not? For us, we've got to get our guys ready to go, and then whoever they put out there, we got to get ready to guard.
How's Mo doing, Coach?
Mo, I think unfortunately is going to be out a little while. It's unclear. A couple of weeks, maybe a month. Obviously we really, really miss his size. That's a tough break. And even more than that, just his the spirit that he plays with. He's obviously rehabbing every day, and hopefully when we get to that sort of that point in February, hopefully he can get back in here and help us.
You said that was an ankle, right?
It's more of a foot. It's more of a foot issue. Okay. Yeah, it's more of a foot issue. Again, just sort of an awkward fall, unlucky. Down there when the big guys are down there hitting and banging. Sometimes you come down awkwardly, and just really unfortunate. Hate it for him, because he's been such an important part to what we're doing, and he will continue to be on and off the floor. He is a guy that is really important to helping lay the foundation we want to lay for years to come.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask a little bit about Jaquan. Came back and played some the other night. I remember, a game not in the too distant past when he had like 14 boards out at St. Mary's in that really competitive game that y'all played out there on the West Coast. If you can get Jaquan playing at that level, things could turn quickly for y'all, could they not, if you can get Jaquan back into the flow like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think his knee and just, he's got to continue, to build progress every day and come with the right mentality. If he does that, then obviously he can really help us, and he's a really good player.
Okay, as you folks may have noticed, we have the real-life official version of the Claunch bobblehead that will be on hand tomorrow night at the combo. What are we thinking, Coach?
Check this thing out, Jerry. We got to make sure we push this thing out. This is good stuff. I just saw this, man. That's awesome. In all seriousness, I've never seen one of these. It's I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. I think we should get some for our players. Yeah. I mean, obviously. I guess you get one with your ticket. Is that right, Mike? So.
That's correct.
Hey, listen, whether it's bobbleheads or whatever the case may be, we really appreciate, the fans in this community and what they mean to our home environment, man. So, please just come out tomorrow night if you're around, and support these guys. And again, I still, obviously what the women are showing what that atmosphere can be like and what they have going on. And for us, obviously we want to, replicate that same success. It starts tomorrow with our first home conference game. And, this is a cool little deal right here. I've never had one of these before. So, yeah, please just show up tomorrow night. Help us, bring the noise early, loud, and often. Let's get a home win.
Any other questions for Coach Claunch? Okay.
Go ahead. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, again for joining us, and thank you, Coach Claunch. We will see you again next Monday ahead of UTSA's trip to Rice.
Yep. Birds up, guys.